going on, everyone? My name is Robert O'Crook. I'm the founder of the Digital Nomads Forum, and Tabitha White asked me what was the hardest part about becoming and being a digital nomad. And for me, it never had too much to do with the work side of things, like finding remote work. While I did have some stumbles in the earlier days of my journey, I figured that stuff out pretty well, and that's why I ended up nowadays teaching people about how to be successful at consistently finding remote work. But so the biggest challenge for me has been emotional, personal, and it's bittersweet because one of the most favorite things, in my opinion, for me about backpacking and traveling the world and being a digital nomad is that you're constantly, in these situations that really you're not used to. And when you're in that kind of mode, for me, it's like becomes this like absorbative, like I'm learning and I'm more open-minded, and you're seeing how things are different than where you grew up. But on the flip side of that, you are tested all the time because your comfort zone has been pretty much destroyed in the best way possible, and you're now faced with just like experiencing, can you handle the travel? Can you handle this new way of living? Are you getting triggered by missing a bus and then missing your flight and all these things? Because one thing I promise you is, like, traveling the world and being a digital nomad is that things aren't always going to work out. Things that you could never predict and you can't control are going to happen in a way that might upset you. But part of the journey is through these consistent experiences of things not going the way you plan. You have a choice. You have a choice of, do I react and get mad and triggered, oh, this didn't work the way I wanted? Or you acknowledge the fact that, wow, things didn't work out the way I wanted, and it keeps happening. So, maybe next time something happens, you can just take a freaking breath, take a nice deep breath. Feel free to do it in this video. Take a huge deep breath with me. Doesn't that feel good? Take a good deep breath and just acknowledge the fact, I can't change this. It's happening. It's okay. It's going to happen again, and that's okay. Because, what's the point of, it's like, I forget what movie the bad guys say. They say, resistance is futile. And that's how the universe and life works sometimes. Situations are going to happen, and you get a couple of choices. You can accept it as it is. You can change it if that's possible, or you can leave. You can run away from it. And sometimes you're going to be in situations where you cannot leave and you cannot change it, which leaves you one option, really, which is accepting it, because the alternative is rejecting it mentally and just suffering. And so the biggest challenge for me has been dealing with situations that are not going the way I want. And on top of that, I've been in a few relationships while I've been traveling. I've had a couple girlfriends, and I have learned so much about what it means to consistently travel with someone in close quarters and be with them all the time through these challenging situations. And I've had a lot of challenges in my relationships, but also growth, because without challenge it's hard to have real growth. And so my biggest, the hardest part about being a digital nomad has been going through those moments in foreign countries, in foreign places, when my relationship wasn't going the way I wanted it to, and then something else wasn't going the way I wanted to. But at the end of the day, everything passes, everything changes eventually. Those situations which were unpleasant and unfavorable are over now. And now I'm hanging out in Ubud, Bali, and I'm recording a video, and life's pretty good, and there's much to be grateful for, and there's nothing up in my face making the day crappy. We have these choice about how it wants to go. I got a bonus story for you. This is hilarious. This is like the hardest moment I ever had in all of my travels. I was in Canggu, Bali, so actually not far from where I'm sitting right now, and I was staying at a place called Serenity Yoga, and I had gotten food poisoning, and it was late at night. It was like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 a.m. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm fucking puking, I'm shitting. You know, if you ever had food poisoning, it's no fun. And like I was getting hit hard. And so I'm just like on the toilet for like hours, and I had to keep like, I'd go to the toilet, go back to my room and relax, like have to go back to the toilet. And so I like towards the end of this, I was just so exhausted. Like if you had food poisoning, it just takes the energy out of you in a way you can't even imagine. And so I'm sitting on the toilet, and it's freaking hot, man. Like it's middle of whatever month in Bali. It's humid. It's real hot at the middle of the night. And so I'm trying to like, let's see if we can fit this in the video. I don't know if you can see my knees, but I'm trying to like rest my torso and my arms on my knees while I'm on the toilet, so I can just kind of like semi-sleep while I'm on the toilet. Isn't that terrible? Like I'm literally so sick and so tired that I'm trying to sleep on the toilet because I can't go back to my room because I'm like blah, both ways. And then I can't, because I'm so sweaty. My body is so like shaky and sweaty that my arms and torso keep slipping through past my knees. And so I'm literally gonna fall off the toilet if I don't like sit up. But I'm literally so weak that I can't sit up. And then guess who jumps in on this like miserable moment of my life is the mosquito gang. Gang of mosquitoes. Like, oh my god, unbelievable amount of mosquitoes are just like landing, biting me. And I'm literally so weak, I can't even swat the mosquitoes. So I'm falling off the toilet, like feeling terrible. And mosquitoes are eating me alive. And I a little bit broke in that moment. And it was like, that was the only time my whole child was like, truly, I was like, oh, I want to go home. Like, literally, like, it was, I was like, fuck this. I was like, traveling is not worth this moment. And that moment passed. And the next day I was like, yeah, no, I still want to travel. And for sure now, 2.5 years into it, where I'm at now, having had food poisoning a few times, I don't regret any of it. You know, those challenging and unpleasant moments can really invite us to grow. And there are going to be challenging moments in whatever way you choose to live. So whether that's as a digital nomad, in your home country, in an office job, whatever you choose, whether it seems risky or comfortable, there is challenges that come with both lifestyles. Like if it's a risky lifestyle, then those challenges might seem more present. For example, getting hit by a car, falling off a motorbike, you know, all these accidents people think about if they're traveling, oh no, like sick, On the flip side, my invitation to you to think about is, if you're in that comfortable, like, you know, relaxed lifestyle, then the biggest challenge might be just waking up in the morning and knowing that you have to go through another 8 or 10 hours of doing something you fucking hate. That concept of doing something like that has always terrified me and seemed infinitely harder than to live a riskier and more adventurous life traveling. To be complacent and unhappy working for someone you don't like, doing something you don't like for years or decades, that's terrifying. I think that is a far heavier challenge. But at the end of the day, the weight of a challenge, the perception of what you think is too hard or just the right amount of difficult, is up to you. It's unique to you. But if you're watching this, you're probably thinking about becoming a digital nomad. And if it's for you, amazing. Let me know in the comments what's going on. You want to be a digital nomad? You don't want to be a digital nomad? What did you think of the video? Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm Robert O'Crook. Thank you for listening.